The new king of Afflict decks has just arrived, Scorpion. But can he stand up to the opposing wall that is Luke Cage? So Scorpion Brand New Day is a 6/8 that reads, ongoing, double the power reductions on all enemy cards. So Scorpion, this card is really cool. It is basically the finisher for all Afflict decks, and when you begin to look at the card a bit closer, you realize it can be used in a lot more decks than just Afflict. There's a lot of move cards now that have afflicting abilities. You have High Evo, you have Phantom X, even things like Dormammu to a degree where you're just inflicting a bunch of power onto enemy cards. This card has a lot more versatility to it than it first appears, and its 6/8 stat line isn't anything to scoff at either. So, this card, I ran into some problems with it yesterday, I can't lie. I recorded my video last night. I was very tired, to be fair, and I did really bad with it. I kept running into Luke Cage, and I'll just play a clip here. It could be one of many things. The first being, my decks aren't great. The second being, Luke Cage is just everywhere right now, making this card very difficult to play. And the third could be that the card just isn't that good. And at the end of the day, because I now have an 85%, I think it's 87% win rate with the card on one deck that I made today, I realized Luke Cage was the problem yesterday. This card is really, really strong. So I suppose let's show you how I tackled that Luke Cage problem. Here is my deck, Energy Poison. Now the idea is it kind of revolves around Lady Bullseye. The deck that I ran before ran like Odin as well, so you'd go for those super high end of turn effects. And you can kind of see where I ran into the problem yesterday. So with this deck, the idea was you would play Wong, then Lady Bullseye, then Odin. But if people played Luke Cage the last turn, I've invested so many cards into getting a Lady Bullseye effect off that it's kind of fallen flat. So I decided to replace Odin with Hulk, and I took a couple of other cards out and replaced them with other things. So before I get ahead of myself, I'll break down this deck for you guys. This is the one that's got me the 87% win rate. If you're looking for a deck to play Scorpion in, I highly recommend this one. It's not too expensive either. I guess Lady Bullseye and Scorpion and I guess Star-Lord are the main ones. Rocket and Groot is also Series 5, I believe, still, but it's been out for a while. Is Hope Summer still Series 5? We're getting into that territory now where I begin to realize just how many Series 5 cards there are. But you have Hulk, Cyclops, High Evo. It's also Series 5? Well, okay, ignore me. I guess it's not that cheap. But anyway, let me break down the deck for you. So we have Sunspot here. Sunspot mainly because we're running Star-Lord, so you want to float an energy every turn. I do think you can flex slot this for Jim Hammond. It's less consistent than playing Sunspot, but you do get bigger buffs from the Star-Lord effect going off on top of Wong or proccing Hope Summers over and over again. So then we have Lady Bullseye, which, as I said before, you pretty much most of the time want to play on the final turn, whether that's turn 6 or turn 7, magic depending. Be on the lookout for Cosmos though. If you're playing Lady Bullseye on top of Wong, there are a couple of times that people play Cosmo, and you have a couple of plays around it if you're anticipating Cosmo, which is good because that means we're not all in on Lady Bullseye, at least in that aspect. But yeah, she's pretty much the combo piece and one of the main ways we have to trigger Scorpion Brand New Day. Now, another issue I ran into yesterday with this deck is realizing that Lady Bullseye was pretty much the only Afflict card I had because I relied on having a combo, meaning Scorpion just wasn't getting me there because if the combo was successful, I'd win the game anyway, so Scorpion wasn't necessary. I ended up adding things like Polaris to pull Scorpion down, and I added the original Scorpion to get a few more flicks, but I found that Rocket was better at just getting consistent little ticks at enemy cards. And those ticks add up, trust me. Playing Scorpion on the last turn to add an extra 1 power to all those cards you afflicted with Rocket and Groot, it's surprising. Then we have Rogue. Now, Rogue is the main card here to tech against Luke Cage. Everyone is running Luke Cage and Red Guardian in those decks, right? They play the Luke Cage, the Red Guardian, your Luke Cage, but if you're ready with Rogue on a later turn to just steal their Luke Cage when they're not anticipating it, it can be a big surprise swing. And it's also beneficial because not everybody is running Luke Cage with these Afflict decks. Some people are skipping it and just running Scorpion. In which case, if you know where their Scorpion's going and you rogue their Scorpion, if you also have a Scorpion, you're quadrupling those debuffs. And I think that's what makes Scorpion so strong in some aspects. I know there's some decks out there that are running Ancient One, just to stack up on those Scorpion effects to the point where you're doubling and doubling and doubling again, and the opponent can't really do anything about it at that point. But Rogue, definitely the best tech piece in this current week at least. Once the week changes and we're in a slightly different meta where not everyone's running Scorpion, I imagine that's probably going to happen at some point unless everyone seems to think this card is insane, which is understandable, in which case keep running Rogue. Otherwise you can run like a Cosmo or a Shadow King. Shadow King, I think you're kind of safe to do because most of your Afflicts will go off in the later turns, so if they play something big, you Shadow King it early, and then last turn you Lady Bullseye sort of thing. Then we have Hope Summers. Hope is another consistent way to try and get Scorpion out early. If we don't Magic, because a lot of the time the playline here is Wong into Star-Lord into then the combo with Lady Bullseye and Scorpion on the last turn. And the thing with this is you're wanting to play Magic for that to work because you're also wanting to float that extra 1 energy. So Wong turn 5, Star-Lord turn 6, then turn 7 you've got a whole bunch of energy from Star-Lord where you can Lady Bullseye and Scorpion. Now the alternative here is having Hope Summers. Then if you're getting like your Magic or like Scorpion and things like that, you can play to get extra energy. I think most of the time here we were playing a 3-drop on turn 3 because you never play the Lady Bullseye until later. So it's Sunspot turn 2, and then if you really just want to float turn 3, you can, but getting a Magic down for an early Limbo, early Rocket, stealing something with Rogue, Cyclops preparing for a lane, or Hope Summers, they're all really good options, and I think it's worth skipping that 1 extra energy from Star-Lord on the last turn to do so. In which case then on turn 4, you're more than likely going to play one of your 3-drops on top of this. And then it starts getting a bit weird because you then have 6 energy when you want to play Wong, if I'm even keeping track of it properly in my mind. But I think I am, because that's turn 4, yeah, and then you play a card on and get 6 energy on the turn you want to play Wong. But I suppose unless you don't have Wong, or if you want to get Hulk out, you have other options. So I wanted to add her in because it makes the deck a bit more flexible. Cyclops is just the perfect high evo card, and Hulk, as I say, one of the big finishers. They're the only 2 high evo cards we get. It's unfortunate that we also have to use a deck slot on high evo because we don't necessarily ever really want to play the card. It kind of just sits in your hand, but for Cyclops' Afflict ability, which doubles up on Scorpion, I think alone is enough, but having a huge finisher with Hulk, people don't anticipate that a lot of the time, having like a 620 or 22 power, or even higher than that in some instances, come down on the last turn. And if you're Star-Lording on top of Wong, you can play that alongside Lady Bullseye and it's probably enough, or even that alongside Scorpion. You get like 19 power final turns sometimes. It can get nuts like that. And after that, I believe I've pretty much explained what the rest of the cards are doing in here. The whole setup for Star-Lord, you want to play it on Wong. You can not play it on Wong for a smaller final turn. Scorpion for the final surprise or an early play off Hope Summers, and same with Hulk. But that's kind of the deck, really. You'll have to let me know how you guys find it. I'm finding it very, very good at the moment, and I think that is nicely down to Scorpion. He does replace Odin quite nicely because you would just Odin on top of Lady Bullseye to repeat her effect, but Scorpioning Lady Bullseye's effect basically does the same thing. And it also allows for the Rocket and Cyclops procs to get doubled as well, so very, very crazily fun card, and I think very, very strong. So with that all said and done, I'll show you guys some games. Nice, almost forced them to snap.
Opponent snapped.
There's not much I can do to stop that Galactus either, especially seeing as they're pulling ahead here, but Rocket and Groot. Oh. Okay. I'll just magic this. Hope they play Luke Cage and steal it with Rogue. Which could be likely. It's the move Afflict deck, it looks like. Do they run Cosmo? Don't know. Professor X. If they don't run Cosmo, we might be okay. They could feel confident with the Professor X. Let me just Star-Lord, Lady Bullseye, Scorpion. Or if they have a location to remove, I don't even know what I said there, but I mean Scarlet Witch, if they have a way to remove the location. Okay, nice. It's looking like they probably don't, and they're just going to play... What's his name? This is proccing 10 times. They're going to have 7 cards, so we don't actually need 3 of the procs. 2 of the procs, isn't it? I'll leave it, just in case they have a different play pattern in mind. Okay, well, we are actually fine. That alone is enough for Scorpion Brand New Day to wreck their day. Perfect. Didn't want to snap, it might have given it away.
Victory.
Okay, fairly slow start to the game here. Another loot cage. We can just get Rogue. Keep hitting loot cage like every game. Rogue? Oh. Scorpion. I mean, they gave me a free Scorpion. I just need them not to play another ongoing card here. And probably play Rocket and Groot there, honestly. Anything they play I can actually steal power from, so. Then we save Sunspot. Super Giant. Okay. Rogue here could be crazy, but that's betting on them not playing another ongoing card. Yeah. You know what? Let's do it. I'm really unsure what they're cooking up, but I'm excited to see. Oh, they rogued. Okay. They're gonna get my Hope Summers. So now I'm going to rogue right back at them. Interesting. Okay. If I hit their rogue, it's kind of useless. If I hit their loot cage, their stuff becomes useless. Let's see, let's see. Wow, Super Scroll. They countered so hard. Interesting. I feel like their deck was pure straight counter, but with no actual game plan. Interesting. Oh, Titan, that's quite nice. Cyclops and their Caliban. That, however, is not nice. They're running Polaris, so what do we bet? They're also running Luke Cage. And now I lost my Hulk. They lost their Diamondback. Interesting. At least we have Rogue. However, it is being a real pain here. Omega Sentinel. Yeah, game point wise, we don't really have one. It seems to be going very slow. It's a little too late. So we definitely Rogue. And then we Scorpion, I guess. Feels a little weak though. And then do we just Hope Summers? Not Hope Summers, sorry, Lady Bullseye. Nice. Perfect, it worked in the end. The rogue tech. This week is going to be so dumb.
Victory.
Okay, we'll take it slow here. Sunspot, then Cyclops is probably going to be pretty good on a Sky Sun's location. They're definitely going to want to play her. Chimichanga. I'll save it. They're probably stepping because of Tarantula or something, in which case we just play this here for the monster. Nice. Then we can just magic probably this location. It's more likely that they're going to benefit from it than I will. And Super Giant. With Super Giant, I'm always like, maybe I just play Lady Bullseye for the last turn. Rocket and Groot. Or maybe I just float the energy for Sunspot and Cyclops. Yeah, let's float the energy. And then turn 6 we Star-Lord. They might just play Cannonball here. You snap? Yeah, I'll snap. Lets me play Scorpion last turn for Lady Bullseye effects. Unless they're snapping because they have a Luke Cage and they've ticked it into the deck for the current meta. It's also a possibility.
The throne.
It's painful, but not the end of the world. Okay, our options are Wong to just get Lady Bullseye off. But there is the possibility that they've got like Cosmo here or something. They could play Cosmo here anyway, which would be sort of annoying. But we have this middle location locked down, and they're probably playing Cannonball here, meaning I could just do this. But is Rocket and Groot better? Might be better. They got Nimrod. Negasonic's fine. Now we just need Lady Bullseye to hit the middle. Come on. Nice. Perfect. The 8 Cuba.
Victory.
Scorpion really pulling his weight there. Okay, drawing cards is always great for us. Okay, this looks like Aurora again. Okay, or maybe just a Tarantula. Tarantula. Wow, really filling the hand, huh? After I say that drawing cards is great for us. If I do 2 sunspots, then I'll magic the middle location. Okay, probably is Aurora. Definitely is Aurora. I swear, if Spider-Ham hits my Scorpion, this happens way too often, for my liking. Yeah, I'll magic. I was debating playing Cyclops instead because this left location could do with a bit of never mind. Okay. Now we can start to get the ball rolling. Probably Wong. Nah, Wong's always better here. They're just destroying the sunspot, okay. And this is where we worry if they snap, but if they don't snap, we just Star-Lord, hope to draw Lady Bullseye. We get Lady Bullseye? No, okay. Well, we have actually not got any negative afflicting cards here, which is a massive shame. Even Rocket and Groot won't work. Okay, do we have a way out of this? Probably not. We have no on reveals, but I have 19 energy. Hi Evo. We do... No, because Bishop's just a 3-4 at that point. You might as well play. Honestly, not amazing, but they played the Cosmo anyway. Yeah, almost had it, but not quite. Oh, Titan will help a decent amount here. Rocket and Groot, even though they're more than likely doing the multiple man combo. If they are though, Dark Dimension messes with them. Okay, magic here. We can hide Scorpion in Dark Dimension. Although I suppose that depends if I feel like we need to. Taking the Madam Web, is that better? Probably. Yeah. Just take the Madam Web for now. Then next turn, Star-Lord. Don't want to snap just in case they have a way to remove Limbo, but with this deck, would they? Probably not.
Oh, snap.
So we snap. We let them play on the left, move Rocket here, then last turn it's Lady Bullseye Scorpion. Nice. Scorpion here, Rocket and Groot here. Villa location power-wise isn't doing too hot, but then Hulk for 16 power. However, this combo gets higher and Sunspot helps that as well. A 516, crazy that we're passing that up, but please tell me they didn't play Cosmo here. But I suppose it won't matter. They did. In the end, it didn't even matter.
Victory.
Perfect. A little bit lackluster because we didn't see the Lady Bullseye go off, in which case we should have just played Hulk, but yeah, you can never know with these decks. Actually, it's a deck that runs Cosmo, so probably could have known, but alas. Onslaught Citadel is nuts. We get Scorpion. Kingy Tree is kind of useless for us. Okay, nice. Cyclops next turn, magic. Okay. Then perhaps Rocket and Groot instead. Oh, I actually beat them. No draws. We'll snap. Because we have Scorpion Brand New Day for the left. Magic here with Sunspot. Just activate Kingy Tree because it's just never going to do anything. Fraglin. Okay. They're doing pretty decent. Their right location is kind of forfeit though. Let's just hope they don't remove Limbo. Do we believe they will? I don't know. Because just playing Hulk here feels like a pretty good play. I did think that. Let's hope not. Okay, we're looking good. Not Hulk just casually being a massive powerhouse. Probably is just Scorpion Hulk. We play Hulk here. Scorpion is doubling this twice, so I don't think I have to worry about that. But the power here is only 15, but Hulk in the middle is crazy. Okay, let's just go with this.
Victory.
Sad we didn't get to see the quadruple, but felt like a pretty solid game to win. Wow, okay. The coasting by gameplay is not going to work this time. We actually need to get something out of our hand. Jim Hammond Human Torch. I was tempted to run this card in this deck. Ooh, they got Adam Warlock. Not Adam Warlock, regular Warlock. Probably something that's going to help them. Luna actually helps us quite a bit as well. I guess because they don't really know what we're playing. That's our advantage here. What do we want to do? Star-Lord is best saved until next turn. Or is it? Or do we just play Wong now, you know? One of those things where I'm not really sure. We could Hulk. No, let's Wong and leave it. Probably just get this out of our hand. I don't think they're likely to play Cosmo. Magic again. Okay. Yeah, this Hulk is nuts. Right. Star-Lord. The last turn it's pretty much Lady Bullseye Scorpion. But this Hulk is getting huge. It's tempting. What are you doing with the Shuri? A little bit spooky. Now I have 18 power, so something like this actually isn't even that crazy. What's it like if I do this plus Scorpion Brand New Day? We get 11 procs twice, but currently they only have 7 cards on board. They're likely to just have 8, possibly 9. So 11 is overkill, especially when we can just Hulk. Wow, okay. They really went underkill, huh? We didn't even need the Hulk. Nuts.
Victory.
So, do I recommend the card? Yesterday when I recorded this bit, I said I can't recommend it until towards the end of the week because Luke Cage is stunting it so much right now. And today I managed to find a way with Rogue to just remove Luke Cage from my problems. I think in my games I didn't really run into many Luke Cages today, which again emphasizes my point here. That when Luke Cage isn't being played, Scorpion is insane. And most metas aren't going to have Luke Cage in every single game. This just seems to be what's happening on the first few days. And because of that, these decks are automatically going to be crazy. It's going to be a meta where people are worrying about this constantly, and for whether it's too strong right now, it's sort of hard to say because everyone's still figuring out decks, and there's so many Afflict cards out there. Like I said, the move, there's Phantom X, there's some Dormammu stuff, and I think where it stands right now, it's definitely a card worth picking up. It feels like a staple card for an archetype that if it becomes your sort of thing in the future and you're going to want to pick it up, it's better to have done so now. So I hope that helps you all make your decision. And yeah, that is it from me for today. So thank you all for watching. I appreciate your support recently, especially on the zombie video that I made with the zombie deck, which thinking of might actually be a pretty good performer against something like this, but alas, that is a video for another time. So thanks in advance, and I'll speak to you all next time.